Hello, hello, hello. Who's out there? Oh, no one's out there at the moment. But anyway, I am here. Don't know who's listening in, if anyone. And I'm not sure where the music was coming from. I know it's in here somewhere, and somebody put in a private chat. I'm here too. Hi, Evelisa. Oh, I stopped. I was wondering why it was there and then it went away. Where do you find that? Let me see. I think you said in settings, audio. No, nope. General. Add separate audio file. No, I don't see that. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to inhale some food, and the first thing I ate was a radish. It's got that little spring in your step kind of taste. Oh my goodness. Phew. Whew. This is one tired person today. Oh my gosh. I think I made it to bed last night around just before 4 o'clock, 4 a.m., and then had to get up at 6 to get ready for my appointment at the VA. So, yeah. Trying to get wound back up. It was a good night last night, though. I mean, Stacy was with me all the way up until after the adult hour, the TAVA after hours presentation, and it was good. Good. Yeah, I'm trying to inhale some food too, so I may tune out my video unless people want to watch me eating food this morning. Who knows? People like to watch all kinds of stuff. Oh, let me see. Let me see if I can find the audio stuff while you're preparing to come on board. Brand. I think you said brand in the chat. Or over in the message you sent. Let me see. Oh, background music. There, I see it. And you can turn it down so it's playing a little bit in the background too. Oh, I love lo-fi. The lo-fi sound. Oh my gosh, I love that. That is just so relaxing to me, the lo-fi. So let me see what that sounds like. If I click on this, I'm going to turn that down slightly and maybe have it playing lightly in the background. Let's see. Turn it down. Well, let's try a different one. Got night driving rock, feeding the ducks. Oh, let's see what that sounds like. Daydreaming. I don't need that. Chase too many squirrels as it is. Well, let's just try them all. Let's go down top. Acoustic, cinematic. It's quiet. Let's try the next one. Dance pop. No, daydreaming. Okay. Feeding the ducks. Night driving. Rock. I'm back to lo-fi. Okay. There you are. Let me move you up to the top. Hey there, young lady. A sweater? I can't hear you.
I was muted. I said, no, it's a blanket.
Oh, blanket. Your house is so cold?
It's switching over from the daytime to the nighttime.
Oh, okay.
So it's chilly in here. Let me turn it off.
I was playing around.
Someone is here.
Oh, Heather. So yeah, I was playing around with the different music and lowering the volume.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Love it.
Yeah, so when we step away, I can either create a video that goes on loop, or you can just, if you click over on brand and go to background,
yeah,
I have the coming out day background. And if I take you out of stream and take myself out of stream, then we have, something that can sit for a while without anybody needing to do anything with it, and just leaving the donate link running.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. A little video clip would be great. It kind of loops around,
It would basically be the same thing as the screen with music, but what I would end up doing is just having things move around, like a slideshow type thing. Go here for this. Go here for this.
Or pictures of our veterans from around the tour, national tour.
Do we have releases for everyone?
We've got verbal releases to me because they all said, yes, you can use these. Nothing in writing, though. Because
hi, Heather. Are you ready to come in?
Hi,
good morning.
I'm finishing my breakfast.
That's what I'm doing. It's a burrito kind of thing. You can't really see it. It's invisible. There it is.
Oh, nice. I had avocado toast because I'm a young hipster.
You are a young hipster. I haven't had anything yet.
I also have Pop-Tarts.
The breakfast of champions.
I've had my ADHD medication, and that's the best breakfast that I can get.
I get that.
I need that.
I'm trying to get started on Strattera, see if that helps with some of my stuff.
But Strattera is the non-stimulant one, or the non-addictive.
And I'm that could be good because I don't need speed.
I need the speed. My doctor was like, I wish, we would have gone with me when we were starting it, because I would have started you with Strattera. And I was like, girl, Vyvanse is doing the job. So.
See, at one point, my wife, because she has a sleeping disorder, was on basically meth.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was on 65 milligrams of meth.
Oh, that's heavy.
And falling asleep.
Oh wow.
We got to watch her. She gave a urinalysis, and every tech had to look at this, and they were freaking out because why would someone take meth and then come and do a test? That's what they thought was going on. And as they're freaking out, she's like, I'm on this med at this dose. And all of a sudden they all were like, oh. And we were like, wow, they're just having so much fun freaking out over meth girl.
Yeah, when went in for my last doctor's appointment around ADHD. I had been off of my medication because I was needing a refill because I moved from Arkansas to Dallas, and I need to see the doctor to get a refill, and it had been a while, so I hadn't been taking my ADHD medication. And so they made me do a drug test, and I was like, what? That doesn't make sense. Like, why? Like, what's the point? Like, okay, though, like, I'll take the test. And so I took the test, whatever. And then when it was time for my refill, I went back in, and they were like, we're going to need you to take a test again. And I was like,
Why?
okay, like, I don't see the point, but I'll pee in a cup. And he was like, and if we don't see it this time, then we're going to have an issue. And I was like, don't see what? What are you talking about? The meth wasn't showing up in my drug screen. And so they thought that I was selling my ADHD medication.
Oh. Oh.
Because, of course, we're all happy to sell drugs.
Oh, my God.
I mean, I get it. Lots of people sell ADHD medications, but like, no, I need that. I'm taking that.
People sell that?
That keeps me saying yes.
Yeah, I'm too greedy. I'm not. This is important. Can't take it.
No, these are prescribed to me. I am going to take them.
Oh yeah. I mean, when you find a med that works, oh yeah, pry it out of my cold dead hands.
Yeah. What was that? Duloxetine, whatever antidepressant drug I was on. I would have given that away. That was terrible.
Oh, I've gone through so many of them, and they just don't really work for me.
I guess I was happier. I don't know. It's such a slight change. But like, I did not feel like myself to an extent. I felt very flattened, and I already have issues with flattening. From my PTSD, I flatten and I dissociate, which was news to me. I know that I do it intentionally, and that all came from a very scary situation that I went through when a friend of mine took his own life. I was on my way to work. I was on my way to perform, and I had...
That's almost fun.
I had a 5-hour shift and 4 numbers to perform. And I was in the taxi on the way to the venue. And I got the phone call, and I was like, I don't have touch-up makeup. I will not be able to perform if I deal with this now. So I am going to turn off my brain. I'm going to go do my job. And then when I get home, I'm going to deal with this. And that was a bad thing to do. I should have called out and just felt my feelings, because now I do it unintentionally. If I ever feel overwhelmed, I'll completely pull myself out, and had no idea I was doing it until my husband was like, you know you do this, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a similar thing where I had to put everything on pause because I was doing a thing. When I was like in my 20s, early 20s, I was helping out at a women's shelter, and this woman needed to get stuff from her house, but her husband was super violent. So I went to the cops and I said, "This is what we're doing," and they said, "Okay. No, a crime hasn't happened. We don't care." And I'm like, "You guys are lovely. Have a wonderful day." But I go, and as she's packing up, this guy shows up with a 45.
Oh, wow.
And so I had to stand there in front of her looking at this guy going, "You're the only suspect, dude. If you pull that, you're going to prison." And because I already told them I'm here and gave them the exact time frame. I mean, this is a really worst time to do a crime. And I finally, after a lot longer than I really was pleased with, he finally, put the gun down
Mm.
and left. I unloaded it, shoved it to the side, got her out of there, got home, and then lost my shit for 2.5 hours because that barrel. Yeah, I know the size of a barrel. It's not that big, but it looked like it was this big when I'm like, "Yeah." And yeah, I was like, at the moment, I can't have a freaking emotion because my emotion would be to gibber because no, and that was not a fun place to be.
Oh, wow.
But she got out of there. She had her stuff. I went home and just freaked out in the shower for 2 hours.
Wow. Mm-mm. I had somebody pull a gun on me one time. I was actually working on a bank. Putting the security bars on the windows on the bank, and my dad, who had sent us out there to do this, I was a teenager. He had sent us out to do this. It was me and my sister. So we're putting security bars on over the windows on a bank, and he forgot to notify the police. So here come the cops. What are you doing?
And you're like, I'm just doing what my dad said.
I'm just putting the bars up and not taking them down.
Oh,
And then
geez.
another situation down in Texas, Fort Worth, actually. Someone came into my home and had this big Bowie knife. And they pulled that thing out and stabbed it in the middle of my table. They go, whack. And we are here for you. That's what he said. And for 2 hours, I'm going, no, you're not. You really don't think that. You don't want to go that route. This is going to go bad for you real fast. Oh my gosh, yeah.
I'm sorry that you think this is what you have to do, but
yeah.
I don't know who told you had to do this.
Yeah. Oh, this was a religious event because the person came in and said, God told me to come in here and talk to you about this. And I'm saying, you got the wrong God doing something for you.
Now, are we talking about the God of love?
Supposedly.
The God of acceptance, the same Jesus that hung out with Mary Magdalene, that same one.
That one? Yeah, that one.
Let's clarify.
That's the one that told me to come in here. Okay.
Yeah, come in here, stick this knife in your
Okay,
face.
cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Right. I got the person help later.
Oh, good. Because that just, it sounds like they were in a place.
They were in a place. They really were. Oh my gosh. Mm.
Wow.
Oh, one time I was putting, we had to go into a county jail and we were removing bars.
You and bars, I tell you.
I know it. So we had all this equipment in the jail, grinders and all this kind of stuff, and we're in there just working away. And all the people on the other side, they've moved them in a different section, but they can see us all. And they're going, "Slide me one of those hacksaw blades, would you?"
You're like, I got better things to do than to do here.
Come on, cut this one right here. Cut this one. No, I'm not doing that. Oh, had some fun experiences.
Yeah, I mean, life is just full of fun and games.
It is. I was on a construction site one time. Y'all know I had a construction company, but anyway, I had it for a long time. This guy comes out on the job looking for work. They're looking for work, and he goes, I'm not afraid of heights. I'm not afraid of heights. He was like 19 years old, something like that. Before I could say a darn word to him, he climbed a column, metal column, ran across the top of a 6-inch wide metal beam that had all holding it up there was like guide cables on either side. 100 feet across this thing and 25 feet up in the air, ran across a 6-inch beam to the other side, came down, came back to me and said, "So do I have the job?" And I said, "Hell no."
You just committed like a whole notebook of OSHA violations.
Exactly.
There's
It's
no
like,
way I'm letting you on a job site.
there's no way I'm hiring you here. That's too much risk. Oh my God. And all I could do while you were running across that thing was cringe, thinking, oh, if he falls. Oh.
And they're like, but I did the thing. And you're like, that's why you didn't get the job, is you
That's
did the
it.
thing.
Calm down.
The
Don't
thing
do
was crazy.
right. And then I had another guy show up on a job. I built a Dollar General store. He showed up on the job and wanted to, it was metal framing and stuff that I stood up. And he came out on that job and said, "Hey, I built a lot of houses. I walk across all these 2x6s all the time up in the air on my stilts and all that kind of stuff." And he climbs up on top of that metal on the rafter section for me. And I went up there. He's going to pick up another metal piece to put it over there, tie up the two frame lines together. And I had to get him down with the forklift because he was wrapped around the metal beam, holding on so tight he couldn't move. I said, "This is different." And I said, "Uh-huh." It's not the same as being up there with all that wood around you. This is freestanding piece of metal 25 feet in the air. Yes,
Yeah.
It's got nothing to hold on to except yourself.
Yep. And these people are still like, yeah, I'll run across this to show you I'm good at this. It's like, no, you tell me you're good at this, and then we have a conversation, and then I put a hard hat on your head, and then maybe see. No, this is I'm gonna do the thing. Oh God, and you're just like,
yeah, exactly. Oh, the life of working out in the real world, I guess.
Yeah.
Private messages. Let's see. Who sent a private message?
I did. Keep them private.
It's private. Okay.
Like it's something about ducks or something.
Something. Yeah, something about ducks. Yeah. Mostly on LinkedIn. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, each one has their own guidelines, and so we want to make sure that we're following the individual guidelines so we don't get turned off and flagged and all of that other stuff.
And they'll go, "You're bad people," and we're like, "No,
we're not
bad. We're just, we have."
I'm going to tell you.
We're just hanging out.
Last night we should have turned off LinkedIn for sure. With the adult comedy hour.
I'm excited to go back and watch it.
Was it recorded? I don't know.
It's all on YouTube.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, TAVA After Dark, you know it.
That's right. That's what we called it too. TAVA After Dark, or After Hours. TAVA After Hours.
I'm almost helpful.
And yeah, TAVAthon, TAVA After Dark. Man, you've got all of the right ways to describe things, Sally.
It's almost like I know how to write or something.
Exactly. The creative writing finally came through.
Yeah. One of these days I'll figure something out.
Yeah. I really like seeing that we don't have anybody in here. I really like the format of being able to use StreamYard. I do want to streamline it just a bit more where we have shifts so that we always have somebody in here and nobody is required to be in here for the entire time.
I'm going to tell you something. I was really disappointed. I was really disappointed we didn't have more people come in and help out.
Yeah, I think it was just
it was so fast.
Organizational type of thing. We didn't sit down and talk about it and say, okay, these are the hours. I think sending it via an email versus sending it or talking about it in a board meeting are two completely different things. If people knew all they had to do was pop in for an hour or two, that would have been no problem.
It was sent to them in all kinds of different formats and ways and methods.
Right, but we didn't talk about it at the board meeting at all.
Yeah.
And we talked about it happening and saying, okay, we really want people to be there, and that's it.
And instead of we're not there, we have to show up too.
Yeah, that's surprising to me though that that anyone would assume that. And I'm glad no one's watching. I'm glad that's true. But it just is bothersome because if I see something that comes across my desk asking me to help out in something.
Hello, welcome. Good to see you.
Hi there.
Hi. I don't see anyone, but
Up in the left corner, you
Yeah.
see live
yes, I see live.
and the eyeball.
No,
You don't
You
see
don't-
the eyeball?
I see no eyeballs.
Okay, well, we see the eyeballs.
We see the eyeball.
Probably because you guys are in charge of something, and I'm just this rando that talks endlessly.
Evelise, if you put your cursor on that, it tells you where it's coming from. That's
Uh-huh.
Transgender American Veterans Facebook page, not the TAVA members group page.
Oh,
Oh, they're gone.
It doesn't count our viewers on LinkedIn or on Twitter.
Yeah.
okay.
But I think if we do it in a board meeting and actually have a conversation about it, we'll get more people. I think it was just, being overwhelmed with emails and taking the time to actually open them. Like, we're in our emails all the time.
We are.
I am
I mean, all of it.
constantly in my emails all the time, but I can see not being in a position to be checking that and having notifications turned on
Yeah.
for your email.
I
I know
was-
mine are.
I was reaching out in every possible way, trying to encourage people. I was sending text messages, emails.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things where
Like,
I
where
think
are
with this setup that we have, we just need to go on ahead and create the Twitch channel.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah, I'm excited for the Twitch because the Twitch allows us to do this more often,
Mhm.
not necessarily with the purpose of it being a telethon, but like we can hop on for an hour or two
Yeah.
once every 2 weeks or something like that and just stream
here's
it
an
everywhere.
We're just gonna chat for a while.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I love it. I love to be able to do this and have our members and participants out there who can comment and do things over wherever they might be.
I mean, the
And-
thing is with marketing of social media and with social media, the more you do something, the more it pushes it.
Mhm.
So if I'm constantly posting, constantly putting out content, it's going to push that to more people's pages. If we're constantly live, it's going to push that to more people's pages and they're going to come to expect it.
Do you know that over on our Facebook group page, the TAVA members page, I don't know about the main one, but you can type in at everyone once a day. And it pushes it to it's just once a day. That's the only way you can use it. But it will send the message. It will tag everyone in there who's a member of that group to let them know they've been tagged in something. But you have to put in at everyone, but you can only use it once a day, once every 24 hours.
As opposed to, say, Discord, where you can just like at everyone
All the
big
time.
sentence.
You're right.
You're just like, oh,
Yeah, I want to get our Twitch up and running, and I want to get our Discord up and running. There's so much that we have planned that's just going to take time, and the reason that we're here, money.
It's not like you don't have a lot of time after you and I speak for hours every day.
And I'm sitting on the computer working as we're on the phone.
That's what I'm doing.
You kidding? I mean, I'm pulling up my editing so I can edit as I talk to people.
Multitasking.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only reason that I'm not doing something else right now is because I think I need to update my Google Chrome because it runs slow. And if I do anything else, StreamYard just like freaks out on me. And I think it's more of a Google Chrome issue than it is
Well, I don't know.
my computer issue.
My computer is a dual processor. And this thing, I mean, I'm able to pull up all kinds of different things on mine. Now, I understand it could be it could be the hardware.
No, because I do it with everything else. I stream. Like I'll be on a video call and still doing everything else. But like once this is open, I struggle to like opening another window or opening a new tab in Google Chrome,
Mhm.
I struggle with that. Or like,
That sounds like you might need more RAM.
no, because it only happens here. It only happens in Google Chrome. Like I can open up Safari right now and browse at normal speed,
Oh,
but Google Chrome and StreamYard is going to suffer. That's why I think it's a Google Chrome issue and not
I updated.
necessarily.
Well, Google Chrome is a known hog of resources.
Oh, is it?
Oh yeah, it. If you want less drag, you want to use Firefox, which is losing market because Google Chrome has, dominated the savannah. But Firefox is
Safari
arguably the
girl.
better product.
Huh. I don't know. I've
I
been
mean, as
stuck
long
on
as it's not Safari, StreamYard can't run through Safari.
Oh no, Safari! Don't. No, why would you do that to yourself?
Because I'm an Apple girl. I can't help it.
Oh, see, I can't even conceive of using Apple products anymore. It's just
It's my
if
whole
you're
life.
like they aren't user subservient, they're company subservient.
Oh.
And if Apple decides a thing, then that's what happens, and you're like, wait, no, I actually need that.
Yeah, I'm over here right now looking through the App Store, and that's scrolling at normal pace. But like StreamYard, I am fully frozen over there. My video is barely moving.
Wow.
Your audio breaks out some too.
Jeez Louise.
I had to update my Chrome yesterday, actually.
Yeah, I haven't updated Chrome since.
It's easy. Yeah. May need to do that, Evelyn.
In a while. I don't use it often.
Oh,
I have no idea when I last updated Chrome. It still works fine.
well, until it doesn't.
I mean, honestly, I don't really do any high-end stuff. I mean, my excitement is I get lost in my head putting words on a page.
Welcome the new viewer. Let me see. Well, you're gone. You were there. Now you're gone. Not sure what page you were on. Went so fast. So we had a really good time last night. Oh my gosh. Spent a lot of time. We went through a lot of the tour photos, all the photos, not all thousands of photos that I have on the computer, but we went through a lot and just had a good conversation talking about all of that. And
Very cool.
It was cool. It was cool. I loved it. And told some stories, our coming out stories, and where we all got there and how we got there and what that process was like. And oh my gosh, it was. We had a good time.
Yeah,
I was really tired. I was really tired by the time it was just before 4 a.m. when I went and laid down for 2 hours.
I wanted to, Cassie, I wanted to thank you for pushing me to read from Magic for Gender Transition.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that book. I mean, it's 99 cents.
Yeah.
I literally priced it as cheap as I could, so anyone who wants it can get it.
I saw that.
And it's just basically saying, hey, here's a way to reframe things in your head. Here's a way to use these techniques. They work with every faith system because here's the technique. You add your faith onto it to add that little extra something. You can be an atheist and use this. It's all fine. Because it's all about the ways you set your mind and your intention and your willpower onto things.
Mm-hmm. Setting intention and speaking positively is something that I saw in a TikTok. I used to do it all the time, and then I realized that manifestation is a real thing, and I needed to be careful because I was saying things extremely flippantly, and they were happening, and I did not feel good about it.
I still say things very flippantly some days, but thankfully I've worked it out between me and my gods that you know me. If I say something completely dumbass, I'm even thinking it's dumbass. So please just let it ride.
Yeah, no, not over here. Everything just goes straight through. Even thoughts go through. And so I'm like, okay, cool, bring it down.
I've done this for 30 years, so I have, thankfully, the experience for my brain to go, okay, you're just talking out we'll just leave this here. You should
Oh,
stop that. And then, then I say other things and, casually it comes to be, and I'm like, well, at least it was a good thing.
it's funny we're talking about that because I'm speaking to my audiologist this morning after the hearing test, and the thing that came up was that the tinnitus, that the buzz that's in my head that's just there everywhere,
Yeah.
universally. The thing that works best is the ability to control your thinking and your mind, and to have some kind of process to be able to work through and say, this helps me focus on something else. If I listen to this or do that, or I have myself doing things, it distracts from that. And I knew that was true already. And so that's what I told her. And I said, but this noise in my head, I said, have you ever heard of the cosmic background microwave radiation?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Staticky looking stuff, unless you look really close at it and it starts bubbling. That's what's in my head.
I thought that I was crazy for the longest time, and I thought that I was just hearing like frequencies that no one else could hear.
Yeah.
And it becomes so overwhelming to the point where I hear nothing else. Like it will completely like blank out my hearing. And I felt that I was crazy. And I talked to the doctor, and she was like, "Oh yeah, that's tinnitus." And I was like, "What?" And she was like, "Ringing in your ears, that's tinnitus." And I was like,
and
"Is
so
that
many,
what ringing in your ears sounds like?"
It's
everybody
different
thinks
for
it's like actual like ringing or something. Like, no, it's like this white noise,
well,
but not a good white noise.
but talking to the audiologist about that this morning, some people have musical tinnitus, she said, where they hear a tone or something like a church hymn going off and just won't stop in their head. And they actually hear that noise, that sound. And I'm like, oh, wow, no, no.
Well, since it's all electrical signals, it'll pull up any signal it wants.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, why can't I just have a Foo Fighters concert?
You're right. Right.
I remember in middle school, there was a boy, because I was a child at the time, and he was a child as well. There was a boy who was like really awkward, maybe had some type of social anxiety. I don't know. Not a lot of people hung out with him, and I was nice to everybody up until high school.
High school.
But I went to say, I'll talk about high school after this, but I went over and I sat with him one day, and I was like, "Hey, how are you doing?" He was like, "I'm good. You want to hear a song I wrote?" And I was like, sure, I'd love to hear the song that you wrote. And he started singing me a Foo Fighters song. And I was like, I know this song. This is a popular song. Do you think I don't know who the Foo Fighters are? And that has always stuck with me. I always wonder to myself at random times, did he just think I didn't know who the Foo Fighters were? Is it because I'm black? Like, what's happening here?
Oh, see, if I was gonna pull that, I would go with something not necessarily more obscure, but much more 80s. It'd be like, here's a little song I wrote. Might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry, be happy.
Be happy. Right.
Because it says, here's a little song I wrote. Yeah.
Right.
I just go with like the most random track off of an album that I knew word for word.
Oh, yeah.
Like the deep cut, the song that nobody listens to. That would be the one where I'm like, this is the song that I wrote. Not a song that was on VH1.
Right.
I mean, if it has actual airplay, don't use it. Because people go, wait, it's that song. Like, I have a song I keep telling people about because it's an obscure David Bowie song, and it's absolutely gonzo. The song is called The Laughing Gnome. And it's David Bowie with a gnome who's it's voiced like a chipmunk. You know, the chipmunks, that same sort of technique. And they're making gnome puns through the song.
Okay.
It is amazing. And it is absolutely freaking ridiculous. Because you're like, it's David Bowie. And he's making jokes about the London School of Economics. You look like a rolling gnome. I'm from the gnome office, and I'm just like, oh, geez, these are terrible. I love it. And it's Bowie's voice, clear as day, because he's got that pitch and sound. So he found that part of his voice. He just hadn't found his songs yet, and it's off his very first album. So if you want a nice deep cut, there you go.
I will be right back. I have downloaded Firefox and I'm going to see if that works better.
Hey, if it works, I'm glad I helped.
Shoot. Oh. Yeah, it was a long night, Heather.
Oh.
Whew.
I slept the sleep of the unconscious.
No doubt.
Oh, and I'm still dragging, but I got my coffee.
Yeah,
and I'm doing okay.
Good. I woke up at 6, sit on the edge of the bed, and I go, "Oh, can I just lay down for another 30 minutes at least?" And I said, "No, better not."
Yeah.
I started off with my typical cold caffeine, which is Pepsi.
So much better. So much better.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I'm glad that helped.
I'm not freezing. I'm moving like a normal human person. That's put on my virtual background.
Yeah, I that virtual background's cool. I can't get it to work, so I'm just kind of like, you know what? It's all good. My blinds are closed. Who can tell anything?
Jay's randomly going to walk by at some point, so I'm gonna pop it back on for the safety of that. I am about to run outside frantically to throw my my trash can at the curb because I just heard them go by and I don't think anybody put it out last night.
Oh, good luck.
Good, yeah.
Oh, do we have a count? Did we make anything extra?
We're up to 755.
Okay, so we went up, wee bit,
yeah.
It's 755 more than we had.
Exactly. And this actually has always been just kind of a practice to get the system down right, learn all the routines, figure out what's better, move forward, and then take it from there. And so I'm glad there's a person watching right now. I see the eyeball. Let me see, where are you, by the way? You're watching from the Facebook page, Transgender American Veterans Association Facebook page. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah. So,
if you have a question, throw it at us. We'll be happy to answer it.
Yeah.
If you don't have a question, go ahead and throw it at us.
And if you would like to tell your story or something like that, you'd like to come on and talk with us, we would love to have you on as well. If you haven't already been with us, we have regulars. Just so I'm so glad for the regulars too, but I'd like to get some other voices in here as well. We have a private message. I will not read that out loud, Evelisa. No. Nothing bad. It's
more ducks.
4 ducks. You say 4 ducks or more ducks?
More ducks.
More.
Yes.
When I did the audiology test this morning, they showed me the graph, she showed me the graph, and on both sides, both ears, the high frequency end was gone. It's not so bad that I can't understand what's going on, and I don't need hearing aids to hear. I can still hear well enough. It's just that,
as long as you can still hear in conversational space, that's usually okay.
Yeah,
I'm losing stuff in conversational space off and on.
yeah. She tested for that too, where she says a bunch of words and stuff in both sides and has you repeat them. Make
Yeah.
sure that you're hearing all the word. I think I did. I think I heard everything. I'm not sure.
It was a whole sentence, not just the word.
Well,
Oops.
there were probably, no, I'm going to say there's probably 12 to 15 words per ear, distinct, separate words that weren't parts of sentences. I had to repeat each word back. And
I
that's
like
how,
that fingernail extension. That was a really good fingernail extension.
you know what that is?
It's a blood ox monitor.
Yeah, exactly. I've been looking for it for the past month. I know you can't really see it well. Let me put it over this way.
Oh,
There it
yeah,
is.
I can see it.
There it is. So I've been looking for it for a while because I've been tracking my blood pressure and stuff like that. I wanted to track this too. And I do that like 3 times a day now. So I'm just doing it because I want to create a chart and a graph of my of all those parameters that I can measure easily.
Morning, Stacy.
Hello on Facebook. Good morning. Good morning. So I'm gonna start tracking this now. I found it in my makeup drawer. I don't know how it ended up in the makeup drawer, but it's in the makeup drawer.
Yeah.
So I've been sitting here playing with it, just thinking, well, turn it on and test. Let me see what's my oxygen level right now. My SpO2 level. Let's see what it says. Come on, give it a second to read up. 97%. I'm good.
Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah.
I'm really I've 100%ed that, and I'm really excited. And then when I'm coughing really bad, it's like low 90s, and I'm like
Yeah. Yeah. When I was in the hospital, well, I had to go into the hospital back in I guess 2013 or something like that here in Tuscaloosa, and it was a result of taking so many, not just hormones, but I was taking also the
phytoestrogens,
all of those kind of plant-based things too, and it put me in a hospital.
People keep forgetting, like I say, that hormones are stupid powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like juggling with nitroglycerin.
Yeah. So
it's way too easy for your system to lose its mind if you can't check your blood levels and stuff. I mean, I get that some people's dysphoria is so hard that they're just jumping on anything they can to make it through the day.
yeah, that's what I
But
was.
if you can get a professional to kind of go, yeah, your estradiol levels are 3 times normal, you might want to bring that down a bit.
Yeah. So my oxygen levels, that's why I had this. And the oxygen levels were in the 80s.
Whoa.
So,
jeez.
yeah. So
that's not a pleasant place to be.
No, it's not. And I was having to monitor this all the time for quite a while because, yeah, they thought they lost me. Literally.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like anything resembling fun.
No. Now, the funny part about it, though, there's one thing that came out of that was really fascinating because I'm in the hospital on a Friday evening. The doctor came in and said, we're going to have to do a lung biopsy Monday to figure out why you can't breathe and all this kind of stuff. And they didn't know about, by the way, the phytoestrogens or the estrogens or the estradiol, and they didn't know any of that.
So because you were afraid.
I wasn't in a place to be able to tell them. So I couldn't. They didn't know. So they wanted to do a lung biopsy on Monday. So I looked at Patty, my ex, who was there with me, and I said, will you go get my laptop and buy me one of those SpO2 monitors and bring it to me here in the hospital? So Saturday morning, I get up. She brought my laptop, all the equipment and stuff I needed. And I'm sitting there studying pulmonology. I took all day Saturday and became a Google pulmonologist. Sunday morning, I wake up. I created me a spreadsheet. And for every 10 minutes from 6 a.m. until 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I measured SpO2 level, my blood, blood pressure, the oxygen level, because it started out at 12 back here on the oxygen thing. I had a mask that I couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
And every time I turned it down a notch at a time. They couldn't get it down. Nobody could get it down because it was just suffocating me. So by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'd created this massive table of data. I'd brought my oxygen level, my oxygen intake from the thing behind me on the wall down from 12 to 4. And
Nice.
when the doctor came in that afternoon, he said, "So you ready for your lung biopsy tomorrow? It's getting ready to go." And I said, I turned my computer around. I showed him the graph. He looks at that. He didn't say another word other than, I don't think we probably ought to go ahead and do that. We're not going to do that.
As someone who has had a lung biopsy, I highly recommend against it.
I do too. I had one about 6 months after that.
Yeah, it's really like being waterboarded.
Yeah.
Because you're drowning and awake. And I'm like, where is this fun?
No, they actually sedated me for that, but they had 3 incisions right on the side right here.
Oh no, I was awake the whole time.
Oh
They put the things in the place, and they're like,
no.
okay, we're gonna squirt water, and all of a sudden I was drowning.
Oh my gosh.
It was,
oh my God. I'm glad they didn't do that to me.
It was horrific.
No doubt. That sounds horrible.
So if I ever have to write a scene with waterboarding, I know what to write.
Oh goodness. Oh my God.
That's a terrible little factoid to hold on to is, hey, this is what waterboarding is like.
Jeez. So when they found it,
that was
when they did that,
fun.
They actually had to do the lung biopsy about 6 months later because I still couldn't breathe well. I couldn't get it. I had to take the oxygen home with me.
It was probably because of all the phytoestrogens and estrogens.
It was. I know it was.
Because your hormone system was all out of whack.
It was all messed up. Exactly was. And so I had to go in, and they did that lung biopsy, and it came back. I remember sitting back in the waiting area in the hospital in my room, and Patty was there, and the doctor walks in and goes, "So I've got a question for you. Are you on any kind of steroids?"
and you're like, not to my knowledge.
No, because that was my biggest fear of going into that surgery for lung biopsy, because the breast development was so obviously large.
First you were afraid, you were petrified.
Petrified, exactly. Oh my gosh. And he asked that question. I said, no. And he just turned around and walked out. But Patty was sitting there. I wasn't in a place to tell anyone what had been going on. She didn't even catch on that he had asked that question or what the implications of it were, because definitely obvious breast development that they couldn't avoid.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so stressful.
And hugs, because that's a place, man, when you are so desperate for psychic relief, that you screw up your lungs.
Yeah, let me show you. I'm going to show you a picture. Don't wait a minute. Make sure that who's in here.
It's still going to be on YouTube.
I know.
Yeah, it's still going to be accessible by people other than us.
You get to miss the immediate embarrassment, but somebody can watch it.
Oh yeah, I've had all sorts of embarrassing things. I mean, getting a security clearance was kind of embarrassing.
Yes, it was.
Oh, was it security clearance?
I actually told them, I do all these drugs. I have done all these drugs. And they're like, why are you telling us? I'm like, because no one can blackmail me with it now. And if I go, oh, someone's trying to blackmail me because I use drugs. If you're just like, well, that's rude. And but if you haven't heard, you're like, how does this compromise you? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, and then I told them, I have a walking in price. If you want any information from me, if you want like the list of the people in my unit, it was $1 million to give you that sheet of paper. and they were like, nobody can afford that. I'm like, I know, but I have set my price. And that's for basic walking. This is literally who walks into our office list. And they're like, no one can pay that. I'm like, and I'm okay with that. But, if I set it in my mind, you have a threshold. I'm like, no, man, $5,000. I know I have debts, but no, man, please chump change. And they're just sitting there going, that's a clever idea.
Yeah.
You're not right.
Heather,
Morning,
your
Stacy.
image-
Morning.
Oh.
So
Hello.
you have your thing to show, huh?
What's
Are you
that?
reconsidering? Oh, because Cassie was going to show us something and is reconsidering.
Yeah.
Show what?
You see it in her face.
Yeah. It's like, I don't do this. But Evelisa, your image is frozen again. I don't know if you know that.
I'm sure it is. There's a lot happening over here.
Okay. Anyway, so this is a picture taken in 2014 in Missouri.
I'm ready. I've steeled myself.
And if you look closely, you're going to notice something that I was deathly afraid of people finding out about. I don't know if you can see it or not. That's my family. But if you notice that shirt, notice the shirt.
Yes.
Patty and I weren't married. We just took a big picture of the family together. But
I can see you have an undershirt under it, and there is.
I see some weight.
Yeah, I'm like trying to hide those things. Those girls were coming out there. That's all from hormones. I'm thinking, what the heck? How do I hide this?
I ended up, because my mom is deathly afraid people will find out who the rest of my family is through me, and I'm just like, ugh. So I had to, when my grandmother died, I wrapped my breasts in ace bandage tightly. Oh my God, that sucked. I wish I knew where binders were at that point, because it hurt. My breathing was affected.
Oh my God.
And I'm wearing just these guy clothes that I just had to go and buy.
Right.
Because I didn't know any guy clothes. I'd been like full time for like a year and a half.
Right.
So I have to bind my breasts with ace bandage, which is why when I tell people don't do it, no, really, don't do it. It's terrible.
It is terrible. I know
terrible.
firsthand, because I had to bind my breasts with ace bandages I was the grand marshal for the Heartland Pride Parade in Omaha, Nebraska. And I had a dress specially made for me, which made me feel very fancy. However, that dress was a little too small in the boobie area, and
so you were like, I still have breasts, but I have to look like I have less breasts.
Or I had to have enough to fit. I'm trying to figure out how to.
Wow.
How to add.
I can't even imagine trying to compress these things into something now.
Oh, see, now I would be like, I need a binder. Just not even going to think about it if I don't start with a binder.
Oh, I'll tell you about going back home on my mom's 80th birthday.
Hell, I had to use socks to stuff myself to make me look presentable, before I ever came out. It was hilarious,
Socks are a tried and true stuffy.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone uses them.
For everything.
For everything. I mean, if you need to get an extra little bulge, socks are a popular choice. If you need to, have some more breasticles, socks are a popular choice.
The bras that I bought before I had my breast augmentation, and the number of bras I wore together just to get a little something. Hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
We have two comments. Let's see who's commenting. Go, Stacy. Good morning, Stacy. And your hearing aid. Your hearing did go to
a place.
Your hearing did go to shit. Anyway, I was telling about my mom going back home for her 80th birthday, and this was shortly after I had announced publicly. About 2 years, actually. No, more than that. Oh my gosh, this would have been about 2 years after I went public with everything. And I'd had all my surgeries and stuff like that, and I'm sitting in a hotel room with my sister, and she says, "Hey, whenever you sit, can you do it? You know, like guys do. You spread your legs out there like that and go." I said, "Tammy, why?" She's the same one, by the way, who said right after my surgeries, she said, "Hey, do you have that phantom limb syndrome going on?"
I actually have a poem about what I call phantom vagina syndrome.
Oh.
Because before I had surgeries, I would occasionally have this sensation,
Mm-hmm.
and it was very weird, but it fit all the key marks of phantom limb syndrome.
Huh.
Only it was for a limb or part I didn't have. And so that was really odd and really cool, but
that's some really strong visualization.
yeah. I mean,
Look, you do what you have to do.
You do what you
my
have.
friends were like, you wished for boobies really hard, didn't you? And I'm like, yes. And then they kept showing up, and then they kept showing up. Then I had to try and find where I could turn off asking for boobies, because I'm like, oh my God, double D's, could you please stop? I mean, I'm like, thank you for blessing me. This is I'm very appreciative, but boy, stop.
And for the two people who are watching right now, let me see, where are you? Let me go over and check.
Hi.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I've been on hormones for almost 6 years, and I can't even get past the B cup.
It's an individual thing.
Well, the thing is, it's based on your genetic history and predisposition. It's the old standard used to be at least one or full cup or a half cup under your mother.
But that's not always true, though.
That is not always true.
Right,
Okay.
I don't think that theory is correct, because if you really look at the genetics, my mom's family, except for her one sister, my one aunt had small boobs. My mother had really big boobs, and her mother had big boobs. You look at my dad's side, and his mom, which was my grandmother, she had small boobs, and then I have another half sister from the same father that has small boobs. So where is the genetics in there? Because you can't, to follow the guidelines of your mother doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah.
No, because genetics is so complex. It really is, and people keep forgetting that it's the primary blueprint for everything. And so when you get on hormones, it will go with the blueprint of what your genetic makeup is. And you may have gotten the breast size gene from your dad's side of the family, which sounds like they were small breasted. And congratulations, you get that as a consolation prize, because genetics decided that was the way you were going to go.
Right. I love
you're just sitting there going, I'm asking the titty fairy, please bless me. And the titty fairy is going, I'm sorry, all I have to work with is this. I will give you the biggest B cups I can give you, but that's about it. Wow. That's you strapped down?
Yes, that is me with the ace bandages so that I could fit in that tiny dress.
You were coming out the top of that.
Yes. Yes, I was. It was so painful. Afterwards, like as soon as the parade was over, I like rolled the top of the dress down and like started ripping at the bandage to get it off of me so that I could breathe. I was in so much pain.
And I think about my experiences, with that when I hear about some of our, trans brothers, and I'm just like, holy crap, dude. I mean, I know it's to get that slight gender euphoria, you put yourself through effing hell.
Yeah.
And
really
and I'm like, please, for the love of God, get a binder, because if I have to do this again, I've got to get a binder, or I'm just gonna not be able to survive.
Yeah, I told my family that if anything happens back home and you want me to come back in a different mode, somebody that you think you know or don't come back at all, forget it. Who you see now is who I am, and you might as well forget it. I'm showing up as me.
Yeah. My
Yeah.
mom called me yesterday and she was like, so the picture of all of us at the Miss Houston pageant, my sister won Miss Houston. The picture of us at the Miss Houston pageant, my aunt posted it on her Facebook page, and somebody reached out to her and they were like, I see Ava, that's the one that transitioned, right? Well, she looks pretty. She looks very pretty. And my aunt told my mom, and my mom, being a mama bear, she was like, I was ready to fight. And I was like, why? I am pretty. She was like, no, it felt different. It felt different. And I was like, look, I appreciate you standing up for me. But it's just so
It's like
weird
that
because I
whole
refuse to go back as anyone else. You either get me as this or you don't get me at all.
That's right.
yeah,
Exactly right.
and sometimes that whole they're pretty. It's like I didn't know they could turn out not looking like troglodyte.
Hmm.
And you're
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm gonna punch you now. It's
Starting
nothing
I
with
mean,
physical,
because
it's
mainstream
medicinal.
media paints us as men that
yeah.
are extremely unpassable, that will always be men, and that's the conversation that keeps happening. That really frustrates me, and it's
Okay.
very hard for me to talk about because we do exist in a world where gender exists on a spectrum. And so when you are talking about binary trans people, that's a different conversation than talking about non-binary trans people or gender diverse people, people who don't fall at the end of it. And like I said, I think that gender exists on a spectrum. I just know that I exist all the way over here on the spectrum. I am all the way
Totally.
woman. That's how I identify. I worked hard for this. This is where I am, and it's perfectly okay for me to be here and someone to exist somewhere else along that spectrum. And that's the way that I help people understand that binary trans people can exist, and so can non-binary trans people. But as far as binary trans people, we have struggled with being denied our womanhood and our manhood, and mainstream media has done quite a lot to make sure that that sticks.
Mhm.
Um, what is her name? Hillary, whatever, in Boys Don't Cry. That's a
Hillary
trans man being
Swank.
played. Yeah, Hillary Swank being played by a woman, by a cisgender woman.
Mhm.
Dallas Buyers Club.
Oh,
Jared Leto playing a trans woman, because at the end of the day, they want to make sure that they, stick that point that,
Yeah.
we can be called women, we can be pretty, we can be called men, we can be very handsome, but at the end of the day, we're still this, we're still that. And so, that
Felicity Huffman.
refusal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Felicity Huffman.
she
I
did an
thought
amazing job.
she did a great job, but it's still not authentic. But then you have like Sense8,
Oh my
where
gosh.
Yes.
I mean, she's played by a trans woman, and oh god, she killed it. She killed it. It was so
But
good.
see, the thing with Felicity Huffman that I appreciated was that even though they did everything in this world to make her look like a man as much as possible, it was still a woman playing a woman at the
Yes.
bottom of it. And that was something that I could be happy about, because at least it wasn't, The Rock in a mini skirt with a wig from Party City. Like, we exist in all different stages of transition and all different stages of existing, but you are pushing this very specific narrative, this very specific image, for the purpose of discrediting who we are. Like, Angelica Ross is on Broadway right now playing Roxy in
Oh yeah.
Chicago.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's amazing trans actors, non-binary actors out there doing great work. I
Yeah.
mean, on a Disney animated show I love called The Owl House, there's a non-binary character, and that was really cool to see. And I'm like, okay,
Seeing the representation just makes me so happy. It makes me so happy because that's going to encourage people to come out, to actually take a look at themselves. Like in the classes that I teach, I make everybody plot themselves on the 4 different spectrums: gender identity, sexual orientation, gender expression, and biological gender. I make everybody plot themselves, and breaking that down and allowing people to ask those questions of themselves makes it make a lot of sense. Because in gender identity, while I exist real far on woman, on hard woman, I am right there at the end. I am lined up with the edge of that spectrum. When it comes to gender expression, I am less so hard feminine. I'm over there. I'm over there hard, but like I'm not 100% feminine expression, and that's okay. That doesn't deny my womanhood, my sexual orientation. I see myself as queer because I'm more so attracted to masculinity and masculine features than anything else. And so if somebody who had an identity outside of male was hitting on me before I was married, I'd be like, I can get into this. I could probably get into this. And then my biological sex is somewhere a little off from male because I was told that I had Klinefelters when I was little.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think at some point that makes me intersex, but I'm not sure. And I never did the chromosomal test, the DNA test, to prove it. But I did have a doctor tell me when I was younger because I started growing boobs.
You probably had Klinefelters. Yeah. And yeah, I studied genetics for 1 semester, and the teacher was like, everything you think you know is wrong. This is going to teach you things. It'll be wrong in a couple of weeks when more research comes out. So, and then they proceeded to completely destroy everything you thought you knew about how human bodies existed.
Yeah.
And they're like, here's like a whole collection of just, our genetic codes. Yeah. And it was mind bending. They're like, XX and XY, they're slightly higher in percentages, but they're not utterly and completely dominant as you think. And I'm like, oh. And then they start listing every possible variation, and I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, because I think there's six known variations.
Oh no, that's more than that, really.
Oh, no,
as of late,
like 60, 70.
No, here's the thing though. If you look at this saddle graph that's on the screen right now, the one I'm sharing, if you ignore the numbers for the graph lines all around it and the labeling and the arrow and stuff like that, this is how I describe biological sex, gender identity, gender expression, any human characteristic, by the way, any human characteristic or trait. And basically, if you on one end, you have the ones that are statistically high and likely to occur. On the other end, you have the same thing on the opposite side of that. So that's where the binary part of it comes from. But in between the two, it's a smooth distribution of possibilities of everything occurring. And it's just not 1 or 2. It's an infinite number of variations that can occur. And the genes themselves.
And if you look, the tops of those curves are really high.
Yeah.
That's not the majority of the terrain.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
the majority of the terrain is not that.
That's right.
And
this applies to every trait. Every trait.
Yeah, when that genetic class happened, I was just like, okay, so reality is not what I think. I can work with this.
Yeah, exactly. So I tell people, hey, this is not your mom's biology class, genetics class. This is not, as a matter of fact, it's not even last week's biology class.
Yeah.
And when you point out, hey guys, the reason you think it's this is because of class in 8th grade. 8th graders have trouble sometimes still tying their shoes. I know, because I was a substitute and I saw so many shoes just come untied, and I'm just like, do you not know how to make a knot? But you can't make those kind of statements in a class because they get really self-conscious. So
Right.
these are not these are not clearly physicists and biologists.
No, of course not.
Sweet
what a good puppers.
baby.
Yay. Hello.
But yeah, I'm like that. So you can't use that as your baseline. You have to use the facts. And the facts are, at these postdoc levels is where the actual information is. And if you look at that, then you get what's actually there. And I'm like, that's kind of the case with everything. And you guys are still running around, but in eighth grade, you're an idiot. I was an idiot. Everybody.
In 8th grade, Pluto was still a planet. Come on, babe.
Yeah. Good point. Good
Oh,
point.
yeah. And so, just accept that reality changes overnight sometimes.
Oh, I know what you're going to say. I know exactly what you're going to say. Hey, Cassandra, I don't even think they had discovered Pluto back when you were in the 8th grade. But anyway, we'll let that go.
No.
That's
I
so
am not
rude.
ageist. I am not ageist.
No, I know. I was making a statement on my own. I was aging myself.
Wow.
I know, right?
I was telling somebody the other day that I was 35 and I didn't have makeup on. And I know I look the youngest when I'm not wearing makeup. And they were like, what? And I was like, yeah, I'm 35. And they were like, I don't believe that. And I was like, okay. Doesn't change the amount of time that I have been in this world. So,
Becky threw out that Pluto is a planet again.
I love that. I love that.
Planet again?
I tell people I'm 54 and they're like, you're what now?
Yeah, I have trouble believing that.
Yeah. Well,
it's my good, clean living.
Good, clean living. I tell people I'm 63 and they'll go, really? You look like you're 55. And I go, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
To the people who are watching over there on Facebook or wherever, welcome.
Good morning, people.
Hello. Good morning, Becky. President Rebecca.
It's a beautiful 7 a.m., 29 degrees.
Ew.
Oh, wow.
I know.
So did you put your shorts on and go for a short jog?
Fuck no, I just let my dogs out, though, and I had to run around the yard with them, but yeah.
So you're the one who let the dogs out.
Oh, my God.
Heather,
I found out the real meaning behind that song, and it broke my heart.
Yeah.
That one hurt. I was like, oh my God, I sang that.
Yeah, and then you find out what it means, and you're like,
elementary school.
It was ubiquitous. It was everywhere, that song.
Yeah.
You're talking about ugly girls at the club.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, there are so many songs where if you pay attention to the lyrics, you're just like, oh, God. And you're like, but it's such a good song, but it's so evil.
Hey, we got 20 minutes until noon Eastern?
Yeah. Ooh, so we do.
So let's, I need to do a big shout out first thing to the small business that sponsored us.
Yeah, go for it.
Nicole Reed, Nicole Reed's bookkeeping service. Thank you, Nicole, if you're around, if you hear this or get a chance to watch it later. Thank you so much. We do appreciate that. And so everyone else out there, if you can, please contribute to us. We've got some links down here that you can copy or use or reach out to us. Text TAVA to 44321. Go to our website. Anywhere, there's a number of ways you can donate and help out. We do appreciate it. Those things make us happen, make the work that we do succeed. And all of us here, all the board members and everyone working with TAVA right now, we are committed and very passionate, and we put a lot of time and effort into all of this. And we just want to make sure that we're able to do the programs that we are committed to doing for you. So it's been a blast for the past 24 hours, almost another 20 minutes or so. And please contribute. Share everything you can, help get some more people out there, bring funds. And you can actually contribute even after we go off at noon Eastern.
Yeah.
Those links will be active. Use them all you want. So I just wanted to throw that out really quickly. And give everyone else a chance to say some ending comments if you would like. Becky, how about you, Madam President?
Reminder: we have a town hall today at
Oh gosh,
2
yeah.
p.m. Alaska,
6 p.m. Eastern Standard.
Time. Hey, I got it. I know my math. I figured out the math between DC and Alaska by now, kind of. We're hearing from the EEOC, so it'll be a really great time for you guys to learn a little more about jobs and what protections they have for transgender people. And they want to hear from us to see what kind of experiences we've had so that they can put some new changes in. That's going to be a cool thing. And I just want to say thank you to all of our wonderful volunteers that have came in and presented or sang. I've caught some of it. I was in triage last night, and I definitely was in for the adult comedy act. I was listening the whole time. I was in and out. Ooh, good morning. Last night was so much fun. Thank you, Facebook user.
Yeah.
I definitely caught in and out. I just want to say thank you to everyone. I want to say thank you to Cassandra and Avalisa and Heather who to hold down the fort most of the 24 hours. Thank you guys. Sorry I couldn't be on most of it. The next one I'll be on way more because I'll be more free. But I'll turn it over to Avalisa.
I just want to say thank you to everyone that came in over the past 24 hours. This is something new for us, and we were trying it out, and to see how well it went. We may not have reached our $5,000 goal in the 24 hours, but we did receive some good donations, and those donations are going to go straight towards actually making a change in our community. We are a nonprofit veteran service organization that services transgender veterans, and it is passion for all of us. It is pure passion. That is the reason why we do the things that we do, and to see the way that you have contributed to this has been amazing for us. Sorry that we stumbled a bit. We changed our platforms. We went through a lot to get to this specific space, but being here and supporting us, just coming in to watch for however long you were here to watch, has meant so much to us, and we really look forward to the next one.
Yeah. Heather, would you like to say something?
Sure, something.
Okay.
No. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, this was kind of quick, and yeah, we had some technical issues. We're still learning, like Avalisa said. But thank you all for being here. I mean, coming out day is kind of important. I mean, the coming out experience is kind of a fundamental one for anyone, whether you're trans or part of the LGBTQIA crowd. That's coming out, and that's a lot. And so thank you for being with us for that. And like Becky and Avalisa both said, this is our first one, not our only one, and we're doing another one in November
11th.
November 11th. We should have more ducks in a row for that.
Yeah.
And so that will probably be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And please show up for that. It has been great to talk with a number of you and hear from your stories, and to share our creativity.
Yeah.
Because we, transgender veterans are absolutely amazing, and you should never forget that, because we're awesome.
We are awesome. That's exactly right. Oh my gosh. I've totally enjoyed being with everyone. We've enjoyed this. It's been an absolute blast. Oh my gosh. Being with some such talented people. We had Rachel Booth come on first yesterday afternoon, and thoroughly enjoyed that. She's extremely accomplished a musician as well as an author. And last we had Trayshawn Perez come in later in the day, and Heather came in, and She's a very accomplished author too. I better make sure I say that as well. Don't want you to be left out of that one. So, yes, and then Terrence Caton came in last night too during the after hours, TAVA after hours. I know that he was supposed to present earlier today, but I think something came up where he couldn't be there. So, so glad that he was able to come in last night. And
we had Samantha.
And Samantha.
Yeah,
Knight.
Samantha was
right.
good.
That's right. And let me see. I'll just get the list up here so I won't miss someone. I think that covered it. Danny didn't get to show up. Danny, nor did Chrissy Renee Baker. I never heard from Chrissy at all, though, so I don't know. But I hope everything's all right. That's the best thing. You know,
life happens.
Yeah, life happens. We get it. And Mickey came in as well. Mickey Brandman was in last night as well. So I know that she's supposed to have been in earlier, around 11 something Eastern this morning. I don't know if there was a message or anything from her. I hope she's all right as well. But she was in last night and got to read a couple of her poems too. So, and then during the silent period, I guess it was from maybe 10 to midnight or so, somewhere around there last night, we were reminiscing with photos and videos and all kinds of stuff. And I actually read one of my stories, a true story of me growing up in Eastern Kentucky. So it was good. It was a good time. So thank you, everyone. Do appreciate it. We are learning. We're learning the systems, as everyone has acknowledged already. And let me get where I can see everyone's faces. I like seeing your faces. There we go.
What were you looking at? Oh, okay.
I had looked at the other list of names and stuff. But anyway, anyone else want to jump in and say something? We got like 10 minutes to sing a song, have a pep rally. Heather. No.
Yeah.
Heather, go.
Sure, I can go. I could read something I read last night. I could read something else. I mean, it's not like I don't have a absolute glut of story.
Or could show some videos from the road trip too.
Oh yeah, that could be fun.
Yeah. Anyone want to see some videos and stuff from the road trip?
Sure.
Okay. Let me see. I'll get them pulled up. I know we've got about 12 minutes or so, roughly. Let me do this. Drop out of that one. Go down to my photos. I'll just pull up some photos. They got videos in there somewhere, I think. Well, photos. There. Give me a second. And let's do. We have two videos actually. We can pull up here. We showed some of these last night. I don't know who was here when I posted them, but let me get over here. And I got to reduce the screen. Hopefully that works. Well, where'd they go? There. Okay. I got to pull them to the desktop. Hold on one second. Okay.
Yeah, I have also a story I could read too.
Okay.
It's moderately short.
All right. Let me take care of this and pull this up and stop it. Wait a second. I got to stop it. Where's the stop button? I couldn't get it to stop. Now I can go back and share. Here we go. Jeez. Share. Windows. Why is it not up there?
How about I read my story while you handle the technical issues?
Yeah, go ahead and read a story.
Okay. This story is called La Faccia del Maestro. It's taken from my poetry collection, I Tiresias, that I'm still trying to put out. Do you know what it is to burn with some nameless need, some unspoken desire that drives you past all human endurance? Something that digs into you like a splinter, festering. Something that is so fundamental to the core of your being that thinking of it stops words and takes from you the gift of speech. Something so much yourself that it drives you to tears when all other emotion has faded. Such is the tale of my life. Tuscany è bella. The word is inadequate for the task, yet there it is. The land and its beauty invades your soul like the clay of the earth invades the food you eat or the wine you drink. Tuscany permeated my soul. I have been told that even at a young age my beauty was apparent. I had long red curls and a body toned in the way children can by running and climbing and exploring the world. This beauty was a gift from my mother, since my father had no such looks. She gave me to him, as their union which brought me was not sanctioned by the church. The servants in my grandfather's house did not hide their words of derision from me, that I was il bastardo, that my father cast on the family was simply a fact. My father's wife, Alberia, loved me. She loved me in a way that my mother, Caterina, had not. I adored Alberia, and she adored me. I was her bella. Her death crushed me in a way that caused a part of me to withdraw from the world forever. I wanted that freedom again, but could not think of a way to return there. No other love, either from man or woman, touched me like hers. I needed to find that solace somewhere else. Ser di Ciccone set me on that path, and for that I will be forever grateful. Art was that path, and I found my way. I studied the faces of all, both beautiful and grotesque. I studied the way water moved, the flights of birds, the behavior of cats. I studied light and color and the wonders of the body. I wanted to know what I could do, what I must indeed know, to return to that time when I was Alberia's Bella. It was there that I changed, and my beauty began to fade as my body went down another path, down roads I had not imagined it would. This filled me with an unnamed dread, but for me was not the path of the castrati. I would not become one of those soft, pasty monks trapped in their cells only to come alive when they sang. I was too alive for that. So I widened my study more and more, all the while feeling the distance between myself and Alberia's Bella lengthen. My notebooks ran to overflowing with my studies. Years lengthened, and I could find no way for me to turn from this fallen state back to the paradise of Bella. I needed to learn more and more so that I could find that return. But like smoke, the answer eluded me. The years whittled me away like a statue. I aged as all things do. Still, no answer had appeared. During a return to Florence, it hit me like a bolt from the Almighty. Was I not an artist? Was I not more skilled in the understanding of anatomy than any other of my time? Fool that I was, I began. The task was great. How to return to Eden when you have been wandering in the wilderness? My memory was equal to the task. I recalled the face of Bella, how Alberia would run her brush over my burnished locks until they shone like sunsets of fire, of how the cloth sat on my child's body. This would be for her, for me, for Bella, my long-lost soul. The background was easy. The Arno Valley was the inspiration, but it was taken from the land that shone behind my eyes when I dreamt. I worked on it for years, struggling to make Bella come to life, with that private smile that Alberia and I shared when my father traveled with my uncle, playing over my face. The work brought back those lost days when I would be in Alberia's chambers without even her handmaidens in attendance. Those days where she held me to her breast and sang to me her love in music too precious for words, it lingered in my mind. the memory of her precious Venetian brush sliding through my hair. Oh, how it soothed me. I was her doll, her beloved, her Bella. Lovingly, carefully, I painted my hidden soul. It was not for some duke, king, or even il papa, but for me to gaze at longingly and dream of what might have been. Other works continued, but I always returned to her, for how could I part from myself? Water always ran true to its course. Season fell into season, year into year, version after version, when after 4 years, my face was done. I wept unashamedly, for there she was again, Bella, looking back at me with my own eyes. The painting was deceptively simple, which only underscored the beauty, magnified the loss. Alberia, my beloved mother, my true mother, how I missed you. I could never return to Bella for fear of being called heretic and burned away in the cleansing fires, and yet I longed for her, for you. When I left Italy, my face, my soul came with me, for it was not mine to part with. She was the face I longed to see again in the mirrored glass. She made me feel lighthearted, free, and so I named my painting after how she made me feel. Those eyes and that smile, that painting returned them to me. As the cold hand of time crept up on me, I knew I had to protect the true face of me, and so I gave my beloved Saliano the face to keep in his keeping. I could not bear to think of her fading when so many of my other works would not. He would do what he could to protect she who was me. Bella's gentle smile welcomed me into the loving embrace of God. Historical note. Alberia was a 16-year-old girl who was married to Ser Piero, a Florentine notary. His illegitimate son from a peasant named Caterina was Leonardo. Leonardo had been born in Anciano on April 15th, 1452, which was a hamlet near the town of Vinci. The painting in question is La Gioconda, the Lighthearted, the most famous painting in the world. Dr. Lillian Schwartz of Bell Labs believes that the painting is a self-portrait. Perhaps this small tale might explain why.
Thank you.
Bone chilling.
So, yeah, my theory is Da Vinci was trans, but approached it a different way. And so Mona Lisa is Da Vinci's true face.
Yeah. Whew. Okay, well, with that, I again want to say thank you to everybody who has been with us. We don't see anybody that's watching live right now, but for people that are watching after the fact, we do want to thank you. We do want to say how much we appreciate you. And we look forward to seeing you next month. It'll be a Friday into a Saturday, so we should all have just a little bit more time.
Yeah.
We have less than a minute left. Anybody have anything to say?
Thank you all for listening.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
Next time will be fun because I'll be cleaning the house and talking to everyone. It'll be a great show.
Have a great afternoon, everyone, wherever you might be.
Bye.
Good morning, whatever it might be for you. But good night for some.
Remember to tune in at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our town hall that Avalisa will be leading because I'll be at work still. Have a good day,
Well,
everyone.
now I know that. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Ooh.